Hello guys, welcome to the next video on Qt tutorial for beginners. In this video we will learn how we can use QTabWidget in Qt. So those of you who don't know what is a tab, you can just go to tool in your Qt creator IDE and then go to options, and then you will be able to see these kind of tabs here: general, kit, Qt version, compiler, and debugger and cmake. So these are called tab, which you can switch interchangeably, right? And the main use of tabs are if you have really too much content to show in a window, you can segregate them using tabs. So for example, general tab have general information, kits have the information related to kits, whatever building kits we have, for example MinGW or MSVC or Qt versions or a compiler. So this is the simple use of tab. So if you have more information which you want to segregate, then you can use tabs. Now what I have done is I have created a sample project, and I will go to main window.ui, and first of all I will search for QTab here. So just search for QTab, or even you can just search for tab, and these will be the result. And we want to drag and drop a tab widget here. Okay, and I will add one more button here so that we will use it later. So I will just add a button also here, so push button. Okay, now I will just give them a horizontal layout, and then I will just provide them some layout so that it can be resizable, right? Now there are some properties of tab which we can see. So just select your tab and go to the properties, and I will show you some of the interesting properties here. So here you will be able to see in QTabWidget the tab position property. So by default the position of tab is at the top, which is north, right? Now you can change the position to south, and the tab will go down, or you can change it to west and it will go left, and you can change it to east and it will go right. And by default it's not, so it will be at the top. So you can change this tab position also. Now tab shape, so by default they are rounded, but there are some options, for example triangular. So you can see the shape of tabs are now a little bit triangular, right? So you can do this. Now you have the icon, so you can give the icons from here. So you have the icon size, you can increase the icon size. For example, we want 32 by 32, and press enter, and then whenever you give the icon, or whenever you provide the icon to your tab, then it will be bigger, right? Now the next property is current tab text. So whatever tab is selected here, the text of it you can change. So for example, this is, for example, my home tab, or second tab is, for example, something else, for example C++, or third tab is something else, right? And you can also provide the tab name. Tab name is this object name. So you have a tab widget, which is the object name of the whole tab widget, right? But the single tab has its own object name, which is this one, current tab name. Okay, now current tab icon, you can provide some icon from here. Right now I don't have any icon, but you can add the resources, and then you can choose the icon from there, right? You can also provide the tooltip to your tab, so whenever you run the application, then it will show some tooltip. For example, this is home, and whenever you run your application, and hover over your home tab, it will show you the tooltip. So I will hover over here and it shows me this tooltip. This is a home, right? So this is for that. Now there are some more interesting properties here. For example, you can check this option which says tabs closable. So just click this option and you can see the close button comes on the tab, right? And you can write a code on for these tabs close buttons, and then they will be closed, right? And then there is one more option which is movable a tab. So whenever you check this, then you can move your tabs like this. Okay, so there is this option also. So now let's add the code for removing the tabs, for example. So you can just right click here and then go to slot, and from here we will choose a special slot from here which is tab close request. Okay, so just choose this slot which says tab close request and click OK. It's going to create us this function, and in here you can just write, I will just make this a little bit bigger so we can see, and then here you can just write UI and then call your tab widget, and then you can just say remove tab. Okay, and then you can just provide this index here as an argument, and then you will be able to remove the tab. So let's run the code and let's see if it removes the tab or not. So our code is compiling and it's running hopefully, and when I click this button it closes, right? And when I click this button it closes, right? Now for example, if we want to add some tabs by clicking some buttons, so we want to add some tabs dynamically, so how we can do it? So I will go to the main window, and for example when I press the button I want to add the tab, so I will just change the text to add tab, and then I will give a slot to it. So right click, go to slot, clicked, OK, and when this button is clicked I want to add a tab, so I will just say UI and then tab widget, and then you can just say add tab. Okay, so just call add tab. It has a few overloads, so we will use the second overload which takes first argument as a widget and second is the text. So just write new q widget, so just write new q widget, and the second argument will be the text. For example, my third tab is Java tab, and you can add something like multiple tabs. So for example, if I want to add multiple tabs, then static text will not work. But first of all, let's see if the tab is added or not. So I will run the code, and then let's see if the tab will be added or not when we press the button. So when I click add tab, it adds this Java tabs here, right? But for example, I want to add multiple tab, then it will add multiple Java tab text to it, which we don't want. So how we can solve this problem? So what we can do here is we can add q string. So just write q string, and then we will just say tab, and this will be in the quotes. So just provide quotes around it and give a space, and then we will provide argument to it. So just write mod 0 for the first argument, right? And then you can just give the argument. So for example arg, and then you can give the argument, for example the index of the tab. So we will count how many tabs we have, and then we will add one more tabs to it. So just write count, so it will give us the tab count, and then we will just add +1 to it. Okay, so let's run the code and let's see if it works or not for us. So I will just click add tab, and it adds tab 3, and when I say add tab, it adds tab 4, tab 5, tab 6, something like this. Now you may ask an obvious question here that okay, we have a new tab, but where is the content? How we can add some content to the tab? So normally when we go to the main window.ui, from here you can add the content to your tab. For example, something like this, some buttons, or some added text, or some other other widgets from here, labels or any other widgets, something like this, right? And in the other tab it has its own window, so you can add different tabs here also, something like this. Okay, so these are the tabs which are already present, so this is easy to do it. We can drag and drop a widget and place it here and do something with it. But we are also adding some tabs dynamically here, so we will go here and we are adding some tabs dynamically. So how we can add this push button and everything to this? So the simple idea is you can create a tab window and add it to your tab. So you can just right click on your project and then click add new, and we will just choose Qt, and then just choose designer from class from here, and then click choose, and this time we will add or choose this widget template from here. So just choose widget template and click next, and leave it as default, and click next. Or if you want to change this, you can change it, but for now I'm not going to change it, right? So next and finish. Okay, so this is going to create one more form for us, which is form.ui, right? So we will go here, and then we can provide some widgets here and do some functionality. I'm not going to add some functionality here, I will just add some widgets here. So I will add a text view, and for example I want to add some labels here, and I want to add a push button, for example, right? And I will select all of them, and I will give them a horizontal view layout, and then I will just give a horizontal layout to all the window like this. Okay, so for example, this is my widget, and I want to show this widget in the tab when I add one tab, for example, right? So I will once again go to my main window.cpp file, and I will add, first of all, include this header for form.h, right, to use this class. So I will just include this, and I will just say form.h, which allows me to use this class, which is form class, right? So I can just copy the name of the class, and instead of this Q widget, I can just say new form. So this is the class name which we have created, which is this one, right? And when we run our code, and hopefully it will work for us. So the code is running, and when I click add a tab, it adds the tab with this the widget we have created. So it has this text label and push button and this text view, right? And I will add one more tab, and you can see it adds one more tab. For example, when I press this add tab, this tab is not selected automatically. You see this tab is created, but I want to select it automatically also, right? So what I can do here is I can just go here, and I will just write UI and tab widget, and then I will say set current index, and the current index will be UI tab widget count. So just use count and then -1, right? And then run the code, and let's see what happens. So when we create a tab, it should be selected. So you see it's automatically selected current index, right? So like this. Okay, so in this way you can use QTabWidget class in Qt. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and bye for now.